let's say, for example, you have a test. You're in school and you know the teacher's going to give you a test. Like when I was a kid, one of the things I had to do was write my name really clearly. Like the teacher was the judge, as if that my handwriting was really good. So I would go home and I would practice my handwriting because I knew that the teacher was going to give me a test and that I had to sign my signature really good. Okay? So I would study. In chess, studying the endgame is like cheating. Why? Why do I say that? Because if you play enough games of chess, I promise you, you will get into some endgames. And if you study the endgames, it's like you're cheating for a test that's going to happen. Maybe not today or tomorrow or next week, but you will have an endgame test. It's absolutely impossible for you to become champions unless you know how to checkmate king and queen versus king. How many in the class think you can do that? 100%, not stalemate, not blundering your queen, 100%. Okay, I'm going to make it hard for this class. I'm going to play black, and you're going to have to checkmate me in 20 moves or less. Okay, so it's the class versus the Grandmaster. And your mission is to checkmate me in 20 moves or less, okay?
Do you want me to tell every single person?
Don't you dare. Don't you dare tell anybody. Okay, who would like to start? Young man. You can call out the move or play the move. Queen h5. Ooh, that's a pretty good move. How many of you like that move? Unfortunately, I like it too. No, because you cut me off the 5th rank. That means that I can't go here, here, or here. My only choices are these squares. Okay, I'm going to attack. Yes! Young man, what do you think? Yes. What would you play? Oh, by the way, that was 1. You guys have 1. You don't get 19 more. Then I'm the winner.
No, you're not. But in a real game, that you wouldn't have to do that.
Okay, thank you very much. Queen to d5. That cuts me off a lot as well. It means I can't go to this square, this square, or this square, or these squares. So in fact, I actually have only one move. As your king protects these 2 squares, I have no choice. I will play king f4. And that's 2. Young lady, your turn. Queen e6. Okay, that's your 3rd move, and that also cuts me off. I can't go here, 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 or here. So I'm going to attack. King f3. Young man. Queen d5. Is that 4? e5. That's 4, right? That's a good move, unfortunately. You guys are actually pretty good. Just a second, hold on. You protect those 3 squares. Your king protects this 4th square. The queen, these 2. I'm going to go here. Young man, yes. Yes. So is this 7? I already forgot. 7 or 8?
It's 7.
That's 6, right?
Yeah.
6, okay. So this one really is a really nasty move, because look at my situation. I can't go here, here, or here. I can't, your king now protects these 2 squares. I can't go there. I can't go there. So my only 2 choices are h3 and h4. I'm going to go to h4, and that is 7. So I think we're up to 7. I'm not really too sure.
This is our 7th.
7. Bravo, bravo. King g2. That was a good one. That was a goody. Because now your king protects these 2 squares. I can't go here. Yes, f3 was really good. I have no choice. I have to go here, and now it's your turn. Come up, young man. Okay, this is your 8th move. All I got to do is survive a little bit longer. What are you going to do? I know, that's pretty bad for me. Oh, that's a really good move. Oh, that's a really good move, because look at what has happened. Your king protects these 3 squares. Your queen protects all of these squares. I can't go here or here. I actually only have one choice. You guys left me no choice. That's my only move. Now you're up to number 9. Young man, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Give me a chance.
Don't. I won't.
Remind me never to challenge you guys. Okay. Now, my situation is really, really tough. Your queen protects all of these squares. Your queen also protects this square. I actually have no choice. I have to move my king here, and now it's your 10th move. Young man.
You are like an army of pawns.
Queen G3 check. All right. That is number 10, was it?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. In this case, I simply have no choice. I can't take the queen because that would be illegal. So I simply have to play this move, king back. But a moment ago, the young man, very cruel of him, said he would never play this move. Why would that move be terrible? Because, and I can't move, and that would be a draw. Can we agree to a draw?
No, we can't.
Yeah, oh. Okay, so that means I have no choice. I have to retreat with my king, and now we're on our 11th turn, and young man. Queen F4. Okay, is that number 11? No, I think it's 11. We're going to call it 11. I can't go to any of these squares. I can't go here, 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 here. I have no choice. I go here. And now, young man. Now this is your 12. It's pretty tough. Pretty tough. Okay. That move isn't making that much progress. And that's number 12. And I'll move my king here. Young man. Remember, you're going to have to use your king to checkmate me. Okay, no choice for me. I have to retreat. And now, Josh, come up and show us a good move for Bravo. My king is running out of squares once again. I'm running out of all of these squares. I'm going to step backwards. Okay, now we're looking for number 13. Come, young lady. Show us your move. Remember, 20 is the magic number. Uh-oh, don't leave me in stalemate.
Do it. No, don't. One move, he's out. Are you kidding me? King is 13. It's for me.
Bravo. Bravo. No, that's a great move. Thank you. In this position, I was really, really hoping. This is a great move that she played. I was really, really hoping she would move her king, because then it would be stalemate. But after this fantastic move, Queen F6, notice that all the squares I can't move to except for one. And that was move
13.
13.
12.
12.
No, 13. 1.
Move 13.
1.
Because you guys have made such great progress, I'm going to call that move 13, and that's my third. So now it's move 14. Young lady, come and show us the move that you think is really good. Whoa. That was painful. Oh no. The queen protects all of these squares. It also protects all of these. I have no choice. I must move into the corner.
Don't play queen to f7.
And this is now 14.
Yes. Thank you.
Here, I have no choice. Here. So now we need a 15th move. Young man in red, please bail me out. I need a blunder. Come and make a mistake.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Ah, king g6. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, checkmate. So you guys did it in 17? That's really good. Applause. That was very, 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 very good. That was so easy. That was easy peasy. But there was a reason that I wanted to show you this situation of king and queen versus king. Because if you master that situation, and you know how to win with king and queen versus king, you can win a lot of positions. There's a major tournament going on. Yes, over at the St. Louis Chess Club. And there's some really strong players. I'm saying grandmasters and international masters and masters and experts, class A, B, C, all kinds of players. And I saw this position, and it was white to play. White is on move. Now, for white to win this position, what is he going to have to do? Young man, how could white possibly win this position? Okay, correct. The only way that white could win this position is if he could promote his pawn. Before you could even think about promoting the pawn, you're going to have to capture this pawn, correct? So it's this logical flow. If white could win this position, he will first have to win this pawn. Secondly, he would have to promote his pawn to get a queen so that he could win the king and queen versus king. Now, how many of you think, before we get started, that white can win the pawn? Okay. How many of you think that if white wins the pawn, that white will win the game? How many of you think that even if black loses the pawn, black could make a draw? If white plays the wrong move. Okay, then let me ask the question in a different way. I think white can force the win of the pawn. Okay? But the question is, can white force the win of the game after he wins the pawn? How many of you think white has a forced win with perfect good play? How many think it would still be a draw with perfect good play? Well, that is the question, because I was watching this game over at the tournament, and I thought that the game would be a draw. Ooh, but white has won the game because the black player didn't know how to make a draw. Ah, okay. So first of all, let's start step by step. Who wants to come up and show me white's first move? Young man. Yes, you were the first to raise your hand. Come on up. Or tell me what move you would play.
King to e4. I mean, no.
King. Could you go here?
No.
No. Could you go here?
Yeah. King g4, g5, yeah.
Correct. Okay, king g5. Now I'm going to defend. I'm going to play king e7. Young man, what would you play? King f5. So now you're attacking my pawn. I'm going to defend the pawn. Now what could you do, young man? Bravo. Now, unfortunately, I am in real problems. I can't make a move that defends the pawn. I would love to play here, but illegal. Put my game. So now I have to realize I'm going to lose my pawn. Once I lose my pawn, I know I have to protect the promotion square. So I have to put my king in such a way that I keep the promotion square under my control. So I'm going to drop back with my king here. I could move my king to any other square. This square, this square, this square. But this is the only square that makes a draw. Now it's your turn, young man. You're going to take my pawn. Bravo. So step one was that you won my pawn. Correct. I have to play the move king e7. Now this is a special relationship at this exact moment that the kings have with one another. It's called opposition. What that means is that the kings oppose one another. So this king cannot move forwards, but neither can this king. So the kings are in what we call opposition. All right, white to move. What move would you like to make, young lady? Come in. Which move? King f5. Okay, so what does this move do? It steps out of the way of the pawn so that the pawn can come up the board. I know I have to fight. I have to resist the pawn. So in this position, there's only one move and one move only that makes a draw, and that's this move. Now, how do you continue your game? Young man in the red, yes. What would you do? e5. Bravo, bravo. So you've advanced your pawn. I'm going to move my king so I stay in front of the pawn. I'm going to play king to e7. Young man, what would you do? King to e6. Now I'm in deep trouble. Okay, I'm in deep trouble. I could make a terrible move that loses the game on the spot. Why would this be a terrible move? Why? Why is that a terrible move? If you like to show us, that's fine. That's correct. That is correct. Now, my king cannot stop the pawn from advancing, and when you play your king to f7, you will protect the promotion square, so you'll just escort the pawn to a coronation. So, in this position, this move would be losing. It also turns out that this move is losing. This move is losing. I have only one move that makes a draw. I'll move my king here. Now what would you do if you were white, young man? Okay, king f6. Bravo, bravo. Now, in this exact moment, I have only two moves. I can move my king here, but after this move, I lose instantly because you play king here and you protect the promotion square. The only move I can make to draw the game is this move, king f8. Young lady, what would you do?
No! You're Grandmaster! Checkmate.
Very good, very good. Check. Now I have two moves. One move loses instantly. What move loses instantly? Josh? King g8, because then you make a queen. So the only move to draw is to step in front of the pawn with king e8. And now, young man? It's going to be a draw. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So after king e6, I'm stalemated. I don't have any move. Young man.
But how did black lose?
Black made a wrong move.
Exactly. How did black lose? And this was what was so shocking to me. I couldn't believe that black lost. In the game, it went king here, king here, king here, and instead of playing this move so that we get opposition, the player slipped up and went here. Ooh. Now, what I want you guys to, I will play the black pieces. What I want you guys to do is show me how you would now win the game. Win the game. Young man, come and show me what you would do to win the game. Bravo. Bravo. Thank you. And then I'm going to go king here. Okay, what are you going to do? Young man. Me? Yes, please. You're such a nice fellow to give me a draw that.
I'll resign for you.
No, I will want to play. No, you have to play.
Sure. Yes.
Ah, king here. So now I want to protect this square. I'm going to try to be tricky. How can I trick you? I want to go here. Young man. E4, E5. Okay, I want to go here. Young man. Ah. Wow, that was really, really good. So in this position, how many moves could white play? White cannot play this move. White cannot play this move. But white could play this move, that's 1. White could play this move, that's 2. White could play this move, that's 3, 4, 5 moves with his king, and 1 move with his pawn. So there was 6 possible moves for white, but only one won. And the move that won was the move that was played, king e6. Why didn't you push your pawn? Why didn't you push your pawn? Would that move have won the game?
No.
No, because then we get that opposition of how we just drew. That was how we made a draw. But the correct move that was played in the game was king here, and now let me try this move. Young lady. Yes, please.
Was the king here before that?
Yes, and I went here. What do you think I should have? That would have been a wonderful move. That would have been a wonderful move because then the pawn is escorted because the king protects all of the advanced squares of the pawn. So I played this move hoping that you would not find this move. This is the only winning move, and explain to me why after this. Think about it, young man. Come, explain to me why. Correct. Bravo. That deserves an applause. Applause, everyone. That was really, really, really good. Because it's exactly what you wanted to show, which is whether the king is on this square or whether the king is on this square. Now that your king is here, you could push your pawn, push your pawn, push your pawn, and I can't stop it. So one of the things that you really have to know, studying this endgame is like cheating. One day, I promise you, I absolutely promise you, that one day you will get a situation exactly like this, and you either be having to make a draw or given a chance to win. All right? Now, we know that with correct play, this position, even though black will lose his pawn by force, black could make a draw. Now I'm going to add a few pawns. Okay? Going to add a few pawns. Now, does the addition of these pawns matter? In other words, do these extra pawns mean that white could win by force now? How many think yes? How many think, it doesn't matter at all, it just doesn't matter at all? It matters a lot. Matters a lot. Why? Let's go through the process again. King here, king here, king here, king here. Now we know that in this position, if these pawns were eliminated, they didn't exist, this would be the only move that draws. Okay? But did you notice that I put the pawn here?
Yeah.
That means that white gets a tempo when he needs it. Yes, young lady. Also 2 squares. So let's say just as in this position, white plays here, 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 here. Without these pawns don't exist, this position's a draw. But now, I go check, king. Last time this would be stalemate. Now I could play a3.
He's got to play 14.
Aha! Yes, correct. He has to move his king, and then king and the queen, and you win. Bravo. Yes, young man. So this is a win. Okay, but now let me trick you a little bit. And instead of setting up like this, where I gave myself that extra little tempo move, did you see how I was so tricky to give it? I'm going to put the pawn here. And so we have the same situation, identical pawns, but it's still a win because of what you just said. We go king here, king here, king here, king here, king takes. So we have exactly the same situation when there was no pawns before. King, king, push, king, push, king, 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 push, king, king. Stalemate, correct?
No.
It's
A5.
correct. It's not stalemate. Black is forced to move one of his pawns. And now after a5, what would you do? What would you do? Young lady, what would you do? Oh, you were so happy to capture. Correct. Bravo, bravo. Well, black has no choice. He can't move his king. He can only play here. Young man, what would you do?
No.
Yeah.
A6.
Here's the point. If you take, you have to ask, what could black move? He can't move. So if you take, it's a draw. Help the young man. What move? Yes, come on up and help. Tell him what you think he should do. Bravo, bravo. Now, I can't move my king, but I can move my pawn, correct? So I take. Now, think about it very seriously. I'm about to make a queen. I'm really fast. I'm really fast. Josh, what would you do? A7. A2. Who would, young man. What's that? Turn it into a bishop.
No, I'm not.
Very good. Actually, that's actually an amazing little trick. I didn't even notice it myself. But if we had promoted it to a rook, it would be checkmate as well, correct?
Yeah.
So it would be checkmate. What if we had promoted it to a knight?
Stalemate. Oh, I know how to
Push the pawn.
be a checkmate. And the knight be checkmate. It can be a checkmate.
Just a second, just a second. Okay, I'm going to...
Checkmate.
And how? Wow. What? Is it winning for white?
Yeah.
Checkmate. So even with the queen against a knight and a pawn, it would be checkmate. How about this one? Okay, you promote to a bishop, I promote to a queen. Young lady. That's pretty. So it turns out you could have promoted the pawn to anything and won the game. Wow. Just a second. Let me pat myself on the back for a great study. Okay. So when you study endgames, it's like cheating for a test. You know you're going to get tested. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, next week, next month. But eventually, you may be playing in a championship tournament here in St. Louis at the club, and maybe you get just such a king and pawn ending. Ah, pretty interesting, huh? Ooh. The most common type of endgames are what we call rook endings. Okay? What that means is both sides have just one rook, and one side, either black or white, has an advantage in the number of pawns. Okay. In this position, white is trying to win the game. He has a pawn advantage more. But over 500 years ago, Danican Philidor, he created what was called the Philidor defense. 500 years ago, he showed that black, even though black is a pawn down, can make a draw. Okay? How many of you know the Philidor defense? You do? Bravo. Do you know the Philidor defense? Very good. So what move should black make in this position? What is the best move to set up what is called the Philidor defense? Young man, what? Correct. Rook b6. So what is the idea? The idea is that black is trying his best to avoid checkmate. This is what black does not want to allow. So what black does is he stops white's king from approaching. Yes, young man?
Black is still a check.
Oh, I'm sorry. The rook was here. I apologize. So black starts with this move, rook to b6, so I cannot advance my king and make checkmate. So what if I advance my pawn? Young man, what should black do? Rook b1. Okay, so now what's the idea behind this? This is Philidor's defense. If I advance my king and I'm threatening you with checkmate, what do you do?
Check on the back.
Check on the back. And if I move my king here, check again. Okay, now this one's the tough one. What if I go here threatening you with checkmate? What do you do? Check me again. So this was Philidor's idea, that he wants to keep checking the white king. Wherever the white king goes, he's going to keep checking that white king until the pawn is no longer defended, and then comes rook g1. Okay? So when I was young, I learned this defense. It's called the Philidor defense. It's over 500 years old. And if you can master this Philidor defense, you'll know how to win as well as how to draw these positions. In this case, the position is a draw. In principle, the best way for you guys to become champions is to do two things. Split your time, 50% of the time, play. Just have fun, play some games against each other. The other 50% of the time, go home and study. Find some books or find some software, learn your tactics, learn your endings. There are many really, really good books. I can't speak for myself. I wrote many. But there are many, many good books. Young man. I actually wrote 18 books, 6 of which maybe you're very familiar with. One of my favorite stories, how many of you have heard of Bobby Fischer? Did you know right next, if you go right around the corner, they have the Bobby Fischer exhibition. And you can see many of the records and what Bobby Fischer did. But I wrote my first book. It was called 5 Crowns. And it was a book about the World Championship match between Garry Kasparov and Anatoly Karpov. And they played 24 games, and it was a thick book, hundreds of pages, wow. And I was analyzing the game, and I was saying, this is a good move, that's a bad move. The man should have played here, the other should have played there. And then I had a dream come true. I met Bobby Fischer. In fact, I met him on a beach. I was laying with my wife, and we were just enjoying the sun. I was falling asleep, and she elbowed me. She said, Bobby Fischer's swimming in the ocean. I was like, whoa, really? And I saw this white whale in the ocean. Boring. I went back to sleep. And then she elbows me again. And I'm like, whoa, Bobby's coming over to say hello. So I had to get up off the beach. I'm all dirty and sandy. And he comes up and he starts shaking my hand and nice to meet you and so on. Then he spent the next 5 minutes. It's a long time. Just count how many seconds that is. It's a long time. And all he did was compliment me about the book 5 Crowns. I couldn't believe it. But I was like, compliment. He liked this, he loved that, he enjoyed that, he liked. So for 5 minutes, all he did was tell me how good the book was. I was like, oh, thank you. Keep going. You can't go. Say some more. And then at the end of 5 minutes, you know what he said to me?
What?
He said, you know you made 2 mistakes. What? The book is hundreds of pages long. He said, you made 2 mistakes. I couldn't believe my ears, because I actually, after publishing the book, I read it again and again and again. And I was angry with myself. I saw there was 2 mistakes. So I asked him, what mistakes did I make? And he said, well, in this page, in this game, in this chapter, that was a mistake. And it matched what I knew was the mistake. I said, wonderful. And what's the other mistake that I made? And he told me, in this chapter, on this page, in this game, you made that mistake. And it matched my own knowledge. I knew I had made 2 mistakes, and he found both of them. So it meant he really studied the book carefully. But this was Bobby Fischer, who knows everything about chess. Why was he studying my book? Because he recognizes that study as well as play is critical. Yes, young lady?
My dad loves chess.
Wow, okay. This is actually a funny title. Play Like a Girl. Now, this is the wonderful thing about chess. In fact, I don't know what it means to play like a girl, because I think the game of chess allows boys and girls to compete equally. The rules are the same for you as they are for me. I just know that Jennifer's a really good author and that she will enjoy. Of course. She's going to show me something in her book. This is our, I think Irina has won the US championship for women 6 times.
Yes.
Alex, help me out here. Has it been 6? And here she is in a kind of a yoga pose where she's
Holding 2 queens.
and she's holding 2 queens. That's a nice photo. Very, very nice.